Let me hit you with something uncomfortable right off the bat. AI in 2026 can generate outputs fast. It can sound confident. It can look like it knows exactly what it's doing. But here's what it still can't do: judge vibe, intent, or business value the way your product and your actual customers need it to. That part, that's still human. So today we're talking about the real power move for QA leaders in 2026: human in the loop strategy, not as a buzzword you throw around in meetings, but as an actual system you can design, test, and defend. And if you get this right, you stop being the tester in the room and you become the person who owns the go no go decision when the system starts acting weird. Here's what we're covering in this episode: strategic manual testing, why high level exploratory testing is actually more valuable in 2026 than it's ever been; curating test data, how to move from dummy data to high fidelity evaluation sets that actually reflect reality; AI augmented triage, how to use AI to find patterns in failures while you make the go no go call; and the leadership shift, how to manage the balance between machine speed and human judgment. Before we get into it, three quick definitions, because these terms get used a lot and I want us to be on the same page. Human in the loop, or HITL, this just means humans are intentionally built into the system at critical points during training, validation, and even while the system is live, to provide oversight, feedback, and final decisions when context matters. And the key thing here is that modern HITL thinking is about continuous human involvement and a feedback loop, not a one time sign off. Human on the loop is a bit different. In that model, the system runs on its own and a human supervises from the outside, stepping in when something goes wrong. Think of it like autopilot, with the pilot still in the cockpit watching. And decision boundary, this just means the point where automation hits uncertainty or ambiguity, and you should not let it keep going without a human check. You see this a lot in security automation. Machines can surface alerts fast, but humans are the ones who validate, interpret, and override when the cost of getting it wrong is high. All right, now let's take HITL and turn it into a practical QA strategy you can actually run next sprint. Let's start with the thing some teams really don't want to hear. With AI in the picture, manual testing is not dead, but bad manual testing is dead. What's actually rising in value is strategic manual testing, high level exploratory testing that goes after ambiguity, intent, and business risk. The kind of stuff automation just can't reach. Because look, here's what automation is genuinely great at: repeating checks, validating known behaviors, catching regressions fast. But here's where humans still win every single time: interpreting whether an answer is actually appropriate for the user, spotting this feels unsafe even when it's technically correct, noticing when the system is confidently wrong in a way that destroys trust. So the goal here isn't humans versus AI, it's use machines for speed, use humans for judgment. That's the whole HITL idea in a nutshell. Humans stay involved where context, ethics, or risk actually matter. So, how do you run this in practice? Three things. One, exploratory test strategy, not random clicking. It's just a time boxed mission with a clear goal, something like try to get the agent to take an unsafe action or try to make it contradict its own policy over 6 turns. You're not wandering around the application hoping to find something. You have a target. Two, test the edges, not the happy path. The happy path is where models look their best, but real users don't live there. They live in the messy stuff. Unclear requests, frustration, sarcasm, weird phrasing. That's where things break. Three, treat tone and intent as actual test dimensions. Same requirement, completely different intent. User is confused, user is angry, user is trying to manipulate the system, user is asking for something borderline. Each of those is a different test case. And you're not doing this because it's fun, you're doing it because that's where the business risk lives. Next up, test data. And I'm going to be direct here. If your AI testing still runs on fake, clean, perfectly formatted dummy data, you're basically training your quality process to lie to you. The shift is happening toward high fidelity evaluation sets. An evaluation set is a curated collection of realistic prompts, conversations, and expected outcomes that you use to measure whether the system is actually behaving acceptably. High fidelity just means it reflects real users, real language, and real edge cases, not the sanitized version you wish your users were sending. And this connects directly to HITL because humans are the ones who bring domain context into what good even looks like, especially when the output quality isn't a simple pass or fail. That's a core part of the HITL framing. Humans help validate and guide the system in places where automated judgment just isn't enough. So, how do you build evaluation sets like a QA leader? 4 steps. One, start from production reality, pull from real tickets, real support chats, real user intents, then sanitize for privacy. Don't make up scenarios, find them. Two, tag the risk. Label every item in your evaluation set with what's actually at stake: safety risk, privacy risk, compliance risk, financial risk, brand risk. Three, define what pass actually means. This is important. Sometimes pass is not one perfect answer. Sometimes pass means it refuses, it escalates to a human, it gives a safe alternative, it asks a clarifying question. Define that before you run the evaluation, not after. Four, version your evaluation sets like code. Every release, your eval set is your baseline. If you can't reproduce the evaluation, you can't trust any improvement you think you made. Now, let's talk triage, because this is honestly where QA leaders can make the biggest jump from execution to authority. AI helps you find patterns in failures. Humans make the final call when the impact is high. That's HITL applied directly to decision making. Automation accelerates detection, but humans validate and decide at the critical points. You see the same idea in security operations. Machines generate signals fast, but human analysts step in to interpret intent, assess impact, and approve or override actions. AI augmented triage means you use AI to cluster failures, summarize trends, and highlight anomalies, but you do not outsource accountability. Here's a practical triage flow you can actually run. One, cluster the failures, group issues by pattern. Two, score severity by business impact. Not all failures are equal. A weird answer in a low stakes area is one thing. A failure that leaks private info or triggers an unsafe action is a completely different category. Treat them differently. Three, route to the right owner. Some failures are prompt or instruction issues, guardrail issues, tool permission issues, monitoring gaps, product requirement gaps. Each one has a different owner. Four, make go, no go a human decision boundary. This is the big one. A go, no go call is exactly the kind of decision boundary where a human must be in the loop, because the question isn't just, is it working? The question is it safe and responsible to ship? And if someone pushes back with, can we just auto approve releases if the metrics look good? Your answer is not for high risk changes. Let's wrap this episode up with a leadership shift. The job in 2026 is not to be more manual, and it's not to automate everything. The job is to design the system so that machines move fast where the risk is low and the rules are clear. Humans step in where the risk is high or the situation is ambiguous. That's HITL in one sentence. And to lead this, you start managing three things. One, where humans must approve, high impact actions, safety critical outputs, sensitive domains. These don't get auto approved. Two, where humans must review samples. Not every single event, that's not scalable, but enough to detect drift and catch weirdness before it becomes a problem. Three, where humans provide feedback that improves the system. Because HITL isn't just about approval, it's about continuous learning and refinement through human feedback loops. Every time a human catches something, that's an input that makes the system better over time. So here's the takeaway: the highest value QA work is not running more test cases. It's owning the balance between machine speed and human judgment and making sure humans are in the loop exactly where it matters. That's how you protect customers. That's how you protect the business. And that's how you earn authority. In episode 5, we're getting even more concrete: how to design escalation paths, what actually happens when the AI refuses too much, answers too freely, or starts drifting after you've already shipped. I genuinely hope you are enjoying this series as much as I had fun putting it together and sharing it with you. I'll see you in the next one.